ladies and gentlemen. I'm John Gray, and we're just plain living again right here in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Good morning, John. How are you?
I'm
Peggy
fine.
Burton. Back again.
Back again on our weekly journey through
to-
Middle Tennessee
Right.
and all the fun things that are done. And today is Election Day.
I know. I hope it goes my way.
And well, let me tell you what. If you want to raise Cain and kick up dust about politics, go vote. If you don't vote, I don't care what you have
That's right.
to say.
You need
Doesn't make
to
any difference to me.
express your opinion by
You know,
voting.
go vote.
Everybody has a right.
Well, what can I do? The only thing you can do is go vote if you want to see change.
And you don't have to agree with your neighbor.
No.
To love your neighbor. It's okay.
Yeah, this country's in a time of, if you don't agree with me, I hate you. I don't disagree with you, I hate you.
That's sad.
And it's horribly
It is
sad.
sad. It's
And
sad.
you know, I watch a show because I like Tom Selleck called Blue Bloods.
I like Tom Selleck.
And it's about the New York police, and he's the commissioner, and he said something the other day about the internet. You know, if something happens, no matter whether someone's guilty or innocent, they're tried, convicted, and sentenced on the internet before anybody ever investigates.
And that's very sad. That shouldn't be the case.
And that's the way it is. And the thing about it is, when that happens, it's sort of like if they say you did something
You're guilty
that you didn't do,
before
and they
you're-
put it on the paper, front page.
And it's you're
John
guilty,
Gray did
right.
so and so, which you didn't do.
Exactly.
Well, and then, but there it is, big, bold, your picture, slobber running out
and
your
they
mouth.
call you guilty before you have a chance to even
And
go
you
to
didn't
trial.
do it. You didn't do it. There was
It's
another
sad.
guy came through the state of Tennessee that looked like you, similar name,
Right.
that did all of whatever it was. But when they find out you were innocent, they don't put a big thing on the front page
No,
that
they
says
just
John
drop
Gray
it.
innocent. It's next to a grocery ad
And it's
on
over.
page 8.
And you have to face the fact that they might have found you guilty, but they didn't.
But the thing about it is, you're convicted in the public eye
Exactly.
as soon as they read the story.
That's sad.
And that's the way it is. And, you know, so be careful what you say and do.
Right, get your facts straight.
Get your facts straight. And we hope that everybody's gone out and voted. And if not, early voting is a big thing now.
Right.
A lot of people vote early because the polls are usually clogged up on election
And
day.
you can go and get it over with and be
But
done
we
with
have
it.
a lot of county offices that are open, and of course this is the midterm
Yeah.
election, so there's seats available in Washington and seats available in the county and the state, and so there's a lot going on. I think in Coffee County, there's just about everybody
In the
that can
county.
run for anything's running.
That's right. There's a lot of people out
There's
there
3
running.
judges'
Which is
seats.
it is wonderful that people step up for these offices. Hopefully, they're qualified.
Right.
And but it's nice that they step up and run for an office.
Well, we
such
need
as
people.
this.
We need people that are willing to serve, but it
Yes, we
needs to
do.
be service. It doesn't need. You don't need to do something like that because you have an agenda, a personal agenda that you want to achieve.
You need to do it because
through
you
politics.
really want
need-
to
at a
change
local-
things or
yeah,
help with things.
At a local level, it needs to be service. It's not about what you can gain at like national politics. They all end up rich.
Which must be nice.
Yeah, So, but locally, it's to make things nice in your town.
A quick word about Hunter Girl. She's still up there.
Hunter Girl made the top 7.
Top 7. So I will encourage people that know her or
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know her
vote
to
for
vote
it.
for
It's
her.
really easy
because
to do.
She's putting us on the map. And
She's a star already.
Yes,
all
she
of
is.
all of them have already said. Katy Perry and Luke Bryan and
we
Lionel
know
Richie.
Lionel,
Lionel
yes.
Richie, they've all already said she's a star. Whether she wins or loses that thing.
Yeah, she has a lot of
She's a star.
confidence, and she carries herself well, and I think that she has what it takes.
Well, we knew that first time she stepped on the
know,
stage
we
at
really
South
did.
Jackson. I just hope we can get her back there.
I hope we can too.
You know,
That would be nice. That would be nice.
And you are one.
I are one.
You are one. Yeah, you are one mother. You're a mother, and this Sunday's Mother's Day.
Oh, okay. I am a mother, yes.
Yeah. So don't forget Mother's Day, boys and girls out there.
Yeah, it is an important day, and I don't require a lot of stuff. I just like a phone call or a little love, and my kids are good about everything.
Rubbing on you and making you feel good.
Well, I've put up with a lot out of them, and so, let them put up with a lot out of me.
Let them put up with something
yeah.
out of you. I agree with that.
I love them. No.
No, heavens yes. But it's Mother's Day, and make sure you get a flower or get some candy or make a meal or do something to show your mom that, because moms are something special. But mom has you back no matter what.
I think so, regardless of what you do or where you go, and you don't have to like everything they do, but you're going to love them.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is.
Before that is the soapbox.
We've got several conversations going on here.
Of course we do.
I wanted to mention the fact that MTSU's jazz concert that we had Saturday night, there was some phenomenal students on our stage, and Bailey, I can't remember his last name, but he plays a bass, and a Tullahoma boy, absolutely fantastic.
He played with John Cook and Kyle a couple of weeks ago. Oh, he's phenomenal.
I don't know why I can't think of his last name. He's played with the South Jackson Street Band. He's just been, ever since he picked up a bass, he has been outstanding. But all of those students, they were wonderful. Their improvisation and everything they did was just phenomenal. That's to be, I need to congratulate Jamie Simmons for his program at MTSU. He's a jazz instructor, and they do a great job.
Right.
Anyway, it was a nice concert.
The night before there was, who was it?
Oh, and I don't know.
A different duo?
A different duo. I heard they were wonderful. I wasn't there because I didn't want to be out in the air.
Right.
I had congestion going on, but I was told they were wonderful, did a great job.
And that's a great stage, backstage.
There's two more of those programs coming up, and it'll be Salem Creek, and the last one's Stan Allen, I believe, or Pike Saunders.
Right.
Or they're all in there somewhere.
They're all in there together.
There's 4 of those concerts that has been set up from South Jackson. I think Gina Wing did that.
Yes, she did.
I'm proud of her.
So we're proud of Gina stepping in.
If you don't know what it is, we have an outdoor theater, which is like behind the main building, sort of enclosed, and great acoustics.
Yeah, it's nice back there.
It's a nice place. You bring your chair and sit down and enjoy a concert.
Yeah, you drive around the building by the office, and when you get back there, before you get to where Old West Junior High used to be, there's a covered walkway that goes over to the building. Well, in between the South Jackson, the wings of South Jackson,
that's become the
there's
theater.
There's a grassy area back there.
It's nice.
I think Colleen wrote a grant and got money to fund that stage.
Yes, she did.
And there was this outdoor stage built.
Colleen should be congratulated. She is kind of that person that nobody knows real well outside of us, but she silently works on writing grants and does a fabulous job. I just need to congratulate her.
For what? 30 years?
Forever.
Ever?
As long as I've known her.
I can't remember a time when she wasn't there.
As long as I've known her, she has been, a constant contributor to the processes.
Right, and her husband Grady was a great bass player.
Yes, he was.
And
I love Grady. I miss him.
Grady passed away several years ago.
Yeah.
But and then Pike, her son, is a guitar slinger.
Right, and today we have coming on Beverly Long and maybe a student. They're auditioning for the Nutcracker, so
that's right.
Get your pencil ready.
This is the Nutcracker year, isn't it?
It's the Nutcracker year, and this is maybe the 30 years of that, or
30 years of
25, I'm not
Nutcracker.
sure. We do it every other year.
Yeah.
And
But
it's all,
that's a great thing, and there was I
2
know
minutes.
there's, how we doing on time,
2
dear?
minutes. 2 minutes. We got issues with the clock.
Okay, two more minutes of this,
Of
useless drivel. But no, this past weekend, there was the dance company had their little dance
I believe they
recital
danced.
over
I
there.
believe they danced all day. They,
Danced all day long, and I
mean-
think Candy and Fran used to say, of course, Bob Couch was one of the few photographers in Tullahoma back in the day, and he made pictures of all that. And of course, with two little girls, he said that was the most expensive 5 minutes of the year. Was that 5 minutes that they spent on stage in a tutu and a pair of tap shoes or whatever they were wearing? They all looked wonderful.
They do, and it amazes me what Beverly seems to do every other year,
Right.
pulling this off,
Yeah.
because it's a story that every child and every adult should know and see.
Right.
1 minute.
And the beautiful music of Tchaikovsky, a chance to just hear the best.
Yeah,
It's a
you know,
wonderful opportunity.
We all need to listen to different music.
I know, don't get hung up on one thing.
Don't get
I
that-
know that I will go to my death being known as South Jackson Goes Country. And I
That
love...
ain't a bad way to go.
No, but that's not all the music I love. I
Of course
love
not.
great
You're a show
classical
singer.
music, and I love big band music, and I love jazz, and there's just so much, so
and-
many different types.
Peggy, that was so wonderful about American Idol this week. They were in Disneyland. And so every one of the people that sang a Disney tune. And they were show tunes. They weren't country.
Right.
They weren't pop. They weren't. One of the gals sang was an evil woman, sort of like Cruella de Vil
Right.
type deal, and she just blew the top off of it.
That's great.
So you know, there's so much music out there and different kinds. And when you look at this American Idol thing, you think, well, that one's country and that one's pop. They're all great at what they do, and they can sing
Other things.
anything.
Some of them can.
Yeah.
Not
so-
everybody can
not
sing
everybody,
opera.
but-
Not everybody can.
But that bunch
yeah.
is talented.
There's a lot of talent there.
Very talented. And we're not talented enough to do this any longer. So what we're going to do is bring some real talent on the set for your entertainment and information. We will be right back after this commercial break.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books, which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
Macarthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at Macarthur Manor, we'll treat you like family.
Caring.
Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest.
Engaging.
With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at Macarthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate, Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Good morning. I hope you're ready to listen to me and Beverly Long. I couldn't introduce anybody more important in my life. Beverly Long doing the Nutcracker again this year for which production is this?
This will be the 18th because we do it every other year. So it
it's
spans
like 18,
30 years.
That's amazing. And almost as long as I've known you, it wasn't too long till you decided to start doing the Nutcracker, and I'm so thrilled about that. And we're here to talk about auditions a little bit, and when of course the Nutcracker's around Christmas time, first week, I believe, first weekend at this Christmas of 22. So auditions, what date?
We always audition, recital is this weekend, and while I have the theater, I do the auditions that weekend.
Oh, Sunday.
No, Saturday.
No, Saturday, during the morning.
During the morning.
What time?
We take the little ones from 9 to 10, and that's kindergarten of next year. So if your child is not kindergarten this year, but
next
will be,
year,
then that's fine.
And then through?
And then the junior high and high school.
Okay.
At 10.
At 10. So the little ones.
There's no, when we get through.
Right.
With that one. The little fellas, an hour is.
And you're not just looking for dancers. Well, or do you have a few other places?
Well, opening scene is more of a
community.
Yeah, it's like a big party, and so no training. You just have to learn the dance and show up.
It's always amazes me, and what my favorite thing is the costumes, Beverly. How do you keep that up year after year? They're spectacular.
I don't know. I enjoy it.
I mean,
it's fun.
I love the dancing, and that's all beautiful, but costume is a huge part of it.
Thank you.
I think a lot of people don't realize how much the costume means.
Yeah, we do period costumes.
And I love that.
There's
we should be watching. Is this the snowflakes?
That's 2 of them. That's your last year, the last time we did it.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
How many people do you usually try to use? Everybody that shows up.
Do you really want to know? I did a thing one time, not too long ago, that I read to my casts every year, and it total, and that's including people that are dancing or moving
on the set,
moving set, keeping kids where they belong and dressed and quiet.
All the people it takes.
All the people that it takes to do one performance of Nutcracker is 132 people.
That's amazing. 132 people.
132 people.
So you're still looking for volunteers for runners, and because you have so many people that I know that they're all over the building.
They're all over the building,
and they're always well behaved. I am real impressed with that, and they're always little tiny ones to spectacular bigger ones. And,
hopefully.
I think that the contributions you make to this community is phenomenal. Not only in your dance recitals and the fact that you're a nice person, but to continue the Nutcracker and offer that to our community.
Thank you.
I think that's fabulous. And
Of course,
I hope,
she's on the other side of doing the same thing that I do.
oh, okay. But
Well-
anyway, we're excited to have you here, and sort of what are you looking for during your auditions? Tell them, I know you have those little tiny people under the skirt.
We do.
And I love that. It's one of my favorites.
I mean, we have
The
a
starting,
variation
right.
of any, from kindergarten up.
The starring roles.
Solos,
Let's go
we need Claire, of course. That's the story.
a young
line.
Claire and an older Claire.
We use a young Claire through half the show, and then the older girl takes over for the last half. We have a Snow Queen. Both of those have to have partners. We hopefully find enough or end up conning sometimes. There's
Well, in the
solo-
Snowflakes, to me, they're all soloists. I think I love
Yeah.
that always.
there's a Snow Queen, and Claire. There's a solo in there's a doll
Peacock.
yeah. But going back to the opening scene, there's a doll. There's usually a
Jack in the
younger
Box?
a younger child that is a tumbler that we put in a box.
I always loved the
somehow.
Jack in the Box. That's just always been one of my favorites.
There's a mask dance in that in that first scene, and then there's a Nutcracker, a male Nutcracker that dances. There is the Mouse King.
So there's lots of places for
within a bigger dance that has solos.
right. I don't know how you put it all together, and I won't even try to figure that out since I'm not in charge. I'll sit on my hands on this one,
Okay.
and just watch the beauty of what you put on the stage. When you came to Tullahoma, Beverly, and I found you in the newspaper, and I knew I had to get to know you, what did you think about Tullahoma when you first came? I know you'd grown up in Winchester,
I did.
but Tullahoma, you'd been away to school and came back.
Came back with
How'd you like it?
as a mother. Well, I've always liked it. Even when, the people are nice, educated, non-educated. There's some of everything here.
And did you do the Nutcracker your first year of teaching,
No.
or you waited a few years and
It was a few years
decided
before
you
I
could pull
had-
that off?
Yeah, because that was one of the things that I had sort of thought for a long time that it would be nice to do.
Right.
Even before I moved here. But, you have to have in your head if you can actually put it
Put in
together.
all the
Right.
characters for starters.
and have enough people
And-
that would,
right.
support it.
I think the beauty of it is you've continued to have some great volunteers and some wonderful students. You always think, well, gosh, I hate to see this one go, but then they grow and they get
They
better,
do.
and there they are,
And I have-
starring again.
I have kids on stage
Oh, I
now
wondered.
that their mothers were in,
Right.
or their fathers were in
And
Nutcracker.
that is a great thing. I
So
wanted-
Tullahoma has been very generous in providing people.
Yeah. I wanted to throw this out. Your recitals this week, and you say you got Snow White.
We're doing
That's
Snow
your
White, yes.
ballet, and you've actually got 7 dwarfs.
I do, male.
Male students. I love
This
that.
one is often done with, and so is the opening of Nutcracker. A lot of schools use girls that are dressed as boys.
And you've got the boys now.
We have boys.
I love that. I mean, everybody should dance. You should.
Sure.
You people out there, just get off the couch and dance some. Beverly, I wish we had more time, but
Right.
I will look forward to seeing what you pull off and your recital this weekend, and also the Nutcracker. So remember, Saturday
It's 9 for the younger ones
And then
10 for the
10
older
for
ones.
the older ones, till the end of time. All right, we'll be back.
I got a tour and I saw all the things and I was so excited about them. And she took me to the movie theater and it had red chairs. This is a done deal and I like it.
We have so many activities here that you just can't keep up with them all. We have exercise, we have coloring, we have crafts.
It's charming, it's attractive, it's very comfortable. It was one of the best decisions of my life.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no. This warrior will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Ladies and gentlemen, last Friday, the Chamber of Commerce celebrated with Catherine Murray over at McMurr's her 25th year of being in business in Tullahoma. And you know, it's amazing, just about everybody knows who Cat is. She's won every kind of award that we have to give away around here. But you just need to realize again how much she has given to our community. And you know, she's fun and funny and full of joy and energy. And you know, I call her Cat, but then sometimes I call her Catmandu. That I can't come up with the right name. Catwoman. You know, just I don't know, just Cat whatever. I can't figure it out. Well, I finally figured it out. From now on, for me, her nickname's going to be Catalyst, because if you know what a catalyst is an ingredient that you put into something that causes other things to happen. And if Cat Murray is not a catalyst in this community, I've never known one to be here. She has created an image and a persona of herself that is sharing, giving, and to that point, the other day on her 25th anniversary, she gave everybody that walked in there and put in an order 50% discount, no matter how big or small, no matter what it was. So after the Chamber of Commerce got finished with her, I went over to where I could spend some time with her after she calmed down a little bit and everybody was out of the way, to have a conversation with my friend and our community's great friend and benefactor, Cat Murray. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the 25-year anniversary of McMurr's in Tullahoma. We're going to go inside and visit with Cat and find out about all the special things going on. You know, just to give you an idea of a few of the things that Cat's accomplished since she's been in Tullahoma, here's the Tullahoma High School Career Technical Education Advisory Board. Here's the Tullahoma Chamber of Commerce Citizen of the Year Award. Here's the Tullahoma Chamber of Commerce CEO Business Partner of the Year Award. Here's the Partnership Award from Partnership for Healing. Here's the Women Impacting the Community Award, which is a chamber award presented to Catherine Murray. Just a few of the things Cat's done in our community to share her great knowledge and her inspiration and the wonderful energy that she uses to impact the community. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 25 years of McMurr's, and I have the wonderfully famous Cat Murray right here in front of me. I guess the first question I want to ask is, how in the world did you ever get to Tullahoma, Tennessee?
Well, I came with someone. They left. I stayed. That's the short version.
When you were in the military.
Yes, but I didn't come here because before I moved here, I lived in California 10 years.
Right.
So I came here from California.
And
in 2000, I moved in here.
And this is a printing, great service. All the things you do, you print and help, and everything from authors printing books to weddings to whatever, big stuff, little stuff. Were you involved in that in your career before this?
Nope.
How in the world did you get started doing it?
I kind of looked and said, well, I'm going to start a business. Let's see, retail, clothing? No. Restaurant? Oh, no. And then, so there was like 5 things on the internet, and I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. And so I looked into franchising thing, and I didn't want to do that because I'm not going to work hard and share my money with, a business.
Understood.
And so I started with another person. Her last name is McDonald, and my last name is Murray. So that's where you get McMurr's.
McMurr's. And did you, in your skill set, in your military skill set, were you in the technical side? I mean, what? Because this is a technical kind of a business.
John, actually, everything that I do here, I taught myself. So.
Well, that just goes to show you how a bright person can figure stuff out.
I just taught myself, and when I was in California, I just kind of got books from Amazon. So I've been an Amazon customer since 1998.
Yeah.
And I got books, and I kind of got interested in it, and so I just kind of on my spare time, I just taught myself how to do all this stuff. And some people walk in here and they want projects, and I teach myself in. I say, oh yeah, we can do that. And I'm like, oh boy,
I'm really busy right now. Can you come back in about a week and I'll help you?
Figure it out.
Then you go to the library and figure it out.
Oh no, we can do it from the computer now.
Yeah, I understand.
We got the
Google
that
and
library.
The YouTube. Yeah. Well, I just want to thank you and congratulate you on 25 years. Mm-hmm. And right up above your head on this video, a minute I walked over there and looked at all the awards you have won, and the big thank you for us in Tullahoma is how you've shared your success and been involved with many aspects of our community.
Well, that's my
you
thing.
are
I love
an
helping people.
Absolutely perfect example of the fabric of building a great community. And you look at the main thread being pulled, Cat Murray's in front of it pulling the thread.
Bad knees and all.
Bad knees and all. Congratulations
Thank you
on
so much.
25 years.
And I appreciate the community for supporting this business because, of course, without them, there would be no McMurray's.
That's right.
All right.
Love you, girl.
Love
Thanks.
you too. Thank you.
Clayton's has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello, I'm John Rickman, and this is...
I'm Pat Welch, and we're here today to bring you the first installment, hopefully not the last, but possibly the last, of Conversations with John and Pat.
We'll be talking about Tullahoma. We'll be talking about things that happen in schools, in the community. First, I want to do a little song. I have been writing songs down through the years, and this is one about my hometown of Chapel Hill, Tennessee. There, we have the Chapel Hill Ghost Light. That's probably one of the most known phenomenon around, and this is how that song goes. Well, many years ago along the railroad track one night, a man was walking home and held a lantern for his light. He never heard the whistle scream or the mighty engine pound. He never even knew it when that freight train ran him down. The engineer ran back in time to see the poor man die. But as he neared the tragic spot, a light rose in the sky. The lamp the man had carried was never found that night. Now the old folks say above the track his lantern shining bright, and still his lantern hangs over the railroad, watching every freight train go by. There's a ghost light over the railroad, shining in the Chapel Hill sky. Looking at the ghost light will make your blood run cold. It moves along the railroad track and haunts your very soul. A spirit holds a lantern high for all the world to see, for the old ghost light of Chapel Hill remains a mystery, and still his lantern hangs over the railroad, watching every freight train go by. There's a ghost light over the railroad, shining in the Chapel Hill sky, shining in the Chapel Hill sky. Pat, I noticed you didn't go in with harmony on the chorus.
No, John, the best thing I could do to add to that song would stay out of it.
Well, that was fun. No, I understand that you and others from Tullahoma used to come over to see the light in Chapel Hill.
Well, it was a little bit above my generation, a little bit. But before we go too much further, John, maybe we had a prior conversation today where we both agreed that we could bring up things about you in Chapel Hill and me in Tullahoma, and then you living in Tullahoma and me working in Tullahoma, and we're living in Tullahoma and conversing in Tullahoma. But we wanted to be sure that when we told our stories, a good story basically tells the truth. It may have a little rough edges on the sides, and we were going to do everything we could not to embarrass our mothers, one of which is 99 years and mine's 85. But so if we insinuate that we've been involved with a caper that we probably shouldn't have been involved in, we want our mothers to assume that we weren't, and we're not going to accuse the other person of actually being there. Now that we got that out of the way, that song was awful pretty, but if the audience had any trouble listening to a country song, the people in Tullahoma heard it that when the gentleman lost his life, he also lost his head. And that as this light and ghost is coming down the railroad tracks at night, that he's actually looking for his head. Now, is that part of it? And
it's
you
hard
just
to imagine without
kind of
your head, you're looking for the head.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, it's unexplained, Pat.
Okay.
It's one of those things that's a mystery.
But that's kind of the basis of it then, to get the truth out there, and where the song cleaned it up.
Though, it was a good place to take your girlfriend, and they snuggle up real tight because it was a scary, spooky place, dark. So, it was a nice place to just go and look for the light.
Well, when I talk to people of John Gray's era, they bring up that it was a great place to take a date, and you tell them about halfway over there, the story got more and more gruesome.
Yeah.
And by the time you got there, the girl was really, really scared and needed comfort, and a little bit more clingy than they may have been.
And you didn't act nervous yourself. You might have been, but you didn't show it.
You tried your best not to act.
And they in the 70s, somewhere in the 70s, and maybe mid 70s, they quit letting them go out there, and they made lots of arrests because people congregated out there by the hundreds. And sometimes they'd have rifles with them, and they were shooting at the light, to bring it down. And so it was Bill Warner's porch light, I really think. I don't guess they hit it, though. Bill Warner, right down the railroad track, and the track turned this way, and right down there.
But there have been several attempts to have a scientific explanation, though, didn't it? Because I'd heard that
fire or gas in the air.
I heard that it was some kind of refraction of light in a fog.
Don't try to use those big words, Pat, because your sons could use them easily, but they're one's at Harvard and the other one's wherever. But go ahead.
Don't let your limited education at Chapel Hill hold us back, John. But they never did explain it.
No.
And the kids still, after the 70s, when the guns got put up?
I guess they still go there. So the last time I was there, I went out with Keith Bilbrey. He used to be on the Ralph Emery show, and he was interested in the light. And he and I and several others went out to the light one night. Of course, we're ancient, standing on the tracks now, but it was a fun time.
Where did you get on the track? Near the old trestle?
There are 4 different crossings. One is under the railroad trestle, going out Depot Street at Chapel Hill. And then there's one down here, and one there, and then one down at General Shoe, or what used to be Genesco, the old building down there. So there were 4 different places you could sit, look northward toward the light.
You didn't walk, you just sat by the tracks?
Just sat by the track,
okay.
Right.
All right.
It was interesting, and college kids used to go. I would take kids I went to Martin College in Pulaski and for a couple of years, and we would drive over there, have a big time, have a good time.
Back on the trestle, John, Depot Street, I think, went in front of your mother's house, where she lived before she came to Tullahoma.
That's the last place she lived.
Right.
Yeah.
I think most of you may have caught that John said it was a one-lane trestle. It had the road went over the tracks on one lane, and the other lane went under.
Most
the
people
tracks.
went under.
Well, when he says most, that's what we need to pay attention to, because I had heard, John, that at times that high school kids would sometimes run under the trestle and not slow down and not wait to see if somebody else was coming, just for the supposed thrill that they gain by going under there at a high rate of speed and hopefully not have anybody on the other side. And again, anybody listening, especially John's mother, this does not implicate John of pulling that off.
But etiquette in Chapel Hill was you blow when you get ready to go under the trestle, because the other people on the other side can hear it and then they won't come, you know. Teenagers don't hear that lots of times, you know, they got music going or whatever. But anyway, it was a good place to live. Yeah, and the speed under the track was sometimes a little more than should be. But we have still, the light is popular because I read about it from time to time. Kids, when I taught school, I used to tell kids that they could look it up in the 13 Ghost Stories of Tennessee. There's a book, and they talked about each one of like the Bell Witch and so forth.
Right. Well, I believe that just probably wraps up our first conversation. And
well, that was about the Chapel Hill Light. And if you're ever interested in going, just contact me. Let me know where you are and where you would like to go over there, and we'll send you in a direction. There's not really good.
We may need to go ahead and say now too, John, that if any women wanted to go, no, they were afraid that we're out. We're both
out.
Happily married, and don't call.
I wonder if Mike, Sarah Stanton, the Curly, different people who do tours, I wonder if they would be interested in going to
a trestle light trip. That would be that'd be neat.
Yeah. It would be affordable.
Well, that probably wraps us up to next time, and as Mr. Couch used to say, that's not the end of the story. We'll be back next week. Thanks.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat, with John and Pat, with John and Pat.
What does caring look like? This is what caring looks like.
This is setting an example for others.
This is rising to the challenge.
This is doing what works.
This is doing my part.
This is doing your part.
Each of us individually.
Acting as one. Keeping your distance, no matter how awkward it may seem.
This is wearing a mask.
Over your nose and mouth, like we are.
Keeping our distance.
Each wearing masks.
Not under your chin.
Not above your head.
Not in your hand. But over your nose and mouth.
This is listening to the expert. If you'll just
wear one of these.
Caring makes community.
And this is what caring looks like.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
Until COVID-19 is no longer a threat.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
I feel like we're safe at Parkview.
There's somebody on staff all the time. So if you need help, help is there.
We are surrounded with people that are looking after us and taking care of us.
The staff is wonderful and always available. We feel so safe and secure here.
I feel safe at Parkview all the time.
long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, we're back, and we have so many wonderful people in our community that work for us, that serve for us, and one of our city employees that to me is just at the top of the list is Lyle Russell, and he's a friend, and he's a very interesting man. But he, as his position as Parks and Rec, he's made some things happen that other people haven't. He started the Lunch and Learn, and he started all these other different things about birds and trails, and he takes kids on walks and explains bugs to them and all of that. But this week's Lunch and Learn, Andrew was over there, and he's telling a story about the ghost. He's doing a series about the ghost of Coffee County, and today's lesson is about a lady named Sadie Baker. Let's go to Lyle Russell and Lunch and Learn.
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the story of Sadie Baker. In Manchester in the early 1800s, it used to be called the 6th Civil District. It was still called Manchester, but the area on property records will say 6th Civil District of Tennessee. And in that town, there was the Shelton family. And they had several children. They had a bunch of sons, a bunch of daughters. They were all very healthy, handsome, beautiful, whatever you want to call it. They were a very lucky family at that time where mortality rates were very high and infants and things like that. So they were, I guess they had good genes, if you want to call it that. So their youngest daughter, her name was Olivia, and apparently she was the most beautiful girl in the 6th Civil District of Tennessee. And she had, I guess all the Shelton daughters were known for that, but in her case, I guess because she was the youngest and the next one of marrying age and so on, she had a lot of suitors. There was a lot of guys in town that wanted to spend time with her. So she would go around town, by herself. She would go shopping and things like that. She was probably in her late teens, I guess, probably 16, 17 years old. It was hard to find an exact date for her, but the stories all kind of start this way. So while she's going home one day from shopping, she happens to come across this girl who is sitting off to the side of the road, and she's wearing, basically a cloak with rags, and she's begging. She's holding her hand out as people walk by to give her coins. And so Olivia was a very kind-hearted person and approached her and asked her name, and the girl wouldn't respond. She kept asking, the girl wouldn't respond. All she did was she had dirt, taped hands, and just hold her hand out. Apparently she smelled really bad, so the townspeople were trying to avoid her. And she was asking, does anybody know who this is? And no one had seen her before. She just showed up out of the blue one day, and they saw her on the side of the road. So Olivia, being the type of person she was, said, well, if you're not going to tell me your name, and if I'm not going to leave you on the side of the road, you're going to come home with me, and we're going to help you. And so Olivia takes this poor girl home. And her sisters are immediately, oh my gosh, a makeover project. 1820s version of a makeover project. So they're all excited about it, but Mom is not so excited. Mrs. Shelton is not keen on bringing strangers in the house, but after the girls pestered her enough, she gave in. She said, okay, well, fine, we'll do this. So the girls take her and they get her cleaned up, and they're trying to chip away the dirt and all of the stuff that she had going on. And when they were done, they found that she was extraordinarily beautiful, even more so than Olivia. So the sisters were instantly jealous. This girl that they just basically pulled out of the mud had According to the story, she had long blonde hair, she had bright green eyes, she fit into all of Olivia's nicest dresses. I guess it was like a perfect fit. And the sisters were terribly jealous, but Olivia was not. Olivia, she wanted a friend, and she saw this girl could be her friend. So Mom also saw this, and her thought was, as many families back then, when you had a prominent family, they were looking to have their children marry into prominent situations. That was part of the survival, the way that people survived back then. And so she instantly saw this young girl as a threat to her daughters from an advantageous position of marriage. She thought that there was going to be competition for her instead of her girls. Well, later that evening, she was right. The Shelton boys came home from whatever they were doing that day, and all the stories say they were out doing a hard day's labor, so I don't know how much a hard day's labor a prominent family in the 1820s did, but that it said when they all came home that at dinner that night they hardly spoke because they were all so enamored with this girl. Mom was not happy about this, and she basically forbade the boys from speaking to anyone about her. And she thought, really, the only way that I'm going to be able to tie this up is I'm just going to have to keep her captive in the house until I have all the offers of marriage arranged for the daughters, and then we'll let her back out into the world. That seems like a very strange logic to me, but I guess that's how they thought. So she sits the girl down, who still has never spoken a word, and says that it's dangerous for her to go outside, that there are a lot of people out there that want to hurt her, and you need to stay inside the house, and we'll tell you when it's okay to go outside. I guess since she didn't speak, they took that as agreement. So fast forward a little bit now. They're just kind of going about life. The girl is still in the house. Olivia is still trying to do everything she can do to make this girl her friend. Her sisters don't want anything to do with her anymore, but the Shelton boys are enamored with her, and they brag. And so now everybody in town knows that they've got this beautiful house guest that they're keeping locked away. And one day, one of Olivia's favorite suitors came to the house, and she was very excited, and she ran downstairs to greet him, and he asked about the house guest instead of her. And that was the first time that Olivia got jealous. She was getting ready to lose her beau. So, she goes to her mother, who she knew her mother was not thrilled with this house guest to begin with, and says, "Mother, this is the most horrible thing in the world," as maybe some 16-year-old girls or 17-year-old girls might think when something like that happens. That this is a terrible thing, and we have to either throw her back out in the street or send her away to another town or something. We've got to get her out of here. And in this kind of fit of rage that her mother had, that seeing her daughter so distraught, she knew that was when she had to act. So she went to their minister and had a conference with him. It was just Mrs. Shelton and the minister. And she said that the only reason that all of these men are so enamored with this young girl is that she must be a witch. And so this mute girl, who has never spoken a word, has never done anything to anybody, is now going to trial for witchcraft. Mrs. Shelton was adamant that the child not be present because all of the town council that would decide her fate were all men. And she was afraid that if the girl was able to speak or something happened like that, that they too would fall prey to her. Her devilry, I think is the word that they use in the story. And so she was put on trial without ever being able to have a defense, speak for herself, or anything like that. She was very quickly convicted, and the minister kind of whipped everybody into a frenzy between his testimony and Mrs. Shelton's. And they dispatched two mobs. One was to go to the graveyard and dig a deep grave. The other was to go to the Shelton house and bring her to the gravesite where they would bury her under a mountain of rocks so she could not escape from the grave. So this poor mute girl was dragged from her bed out of the Shelton house by her hair. They stripped her, they tied her to a stake, and they dragged her through the same streets that they found her all the way to the cemetery. And when they got there, on the way there, but on the way there, Olivia had a change of heart. Olivia saw that the only thing that this girl had ever done was just be prettier than her. And so she suddenly had this terrible guilt trip and ran into the crowd trying to stop. They were spitting on her, they were cursing her, punching her, kicking her, so on and so forth. But Olivia couldn't stop them. Once a ball like that starts rolling, they couldn't stop it. So they get to the cemetery. Olivia is pleading with them not to do this. The girl is standing at the edge of the grave, and she's a little bit battered at this point, looking around at the crowd. All these torchlit faces have drugged her from the bed in the middle of the night. And the only words that she ever spoke at that moment was, "I am Sadie Baker." And at that moment, they pushed her in and they buried her. So, not a real good way to go. But the story doesn't end there. So, the Shelton family, as much as they could, got back to normal. Life started to normalize again. The children moved on. Some of them were married out. Some of them were betrothed, as they called it back then. And so Mrs. Shelton was very happy with things. And Olivia was the last one to marry. And she did end up marrying her boyfriend that came and called on the other girl. I guess once she was gone, the spell was broken, according to them. So shortly thereafter, all was bliss in their house. He was providing well for their family. They were talking about having children. They were relative newlyweds at that time. And one day, he came home to find her sitting in front of the mirror, and she had really long, dark hair, according to what was written about her. And I guess he came home and found her in front of the mirror, and she's just got her hair in clutches like this. She's just holding it, pulling on it. And she's just staring at herself in the mirror, and he's asking, what is wrong? And she keeps saying that this doesn't belong here. This is not what I should look like. I don't like the way that I look. And then she turned around and accused him of wanting to have a family with Sadie instead of her. So there's discussion back and forth between some of the accounts that I read on whether or not it was guilt from what happened, or if she was quite honestly just losing it. So in this case, obviously that wasn't the case. Sadie was long gone and they were happily married, or at least so he thought. She attacked him, she hit him, she kicked him, she beat him, just like he did to Sadie, and told him that to get out. So he went back into town the next day. He went to the doctor. He went to the minister. Please help me do something to help her. He said Olivia is not right. Things are not going well with her. So the minister, let's start back over. The doctor comes first, creates a couple of tinctures, a couple of balms, says take these certain times of the day, and so on. This went on for a couple of weeks. Nothing would stop her rage or her guilt, whatever you want to call it. She still would sit in front of the mirror constantly and just pull her hair and pull her hair. So he went to the minister, happened to be the same minister that accused Sadie of witchcraft, and said that it must be the spirit of Sadie coming back to haunt Olivia, and that an exorcism needed to be performed. The only account that I could find that mentioned anything about that said that the exorcism was very violent. So that's all it says. So I'm not sure what transpired, but I've seen enough movies to have an idea. But during that time, I guess it did not go well. Still, Olivia was not in good health. So finally, after he's exhausted at this point, he's done everything he can think of to do to try and ease her mind, and he comes home one day and she has cut all of her hair off. All of Olivia's hair is now laying in clumps on the floor. She stands in front of this mirror, and she turns to him and says, "Don't you love my beautiful blonde hair?" And he said, "What have you done? You don't have blonde hair. You've cut all your hair off." And she jumped on top of him, hit him, and said, "I am Sadie Baker," and ran out of the house and was never seen again. So stories like that, I'm a little bit leery of, because that whole never seen again always just seems like an ominous ending. But for years after that, it was reported, if you believe these reports, that there was a woman's screams and maniacal laughter heard around the cemetery, and there was thought that it was A, Sadie had come back looking for her body, or B, it was Olivia, just out of guilt, was there at Sadie's grave constantly. And when people would come, she would go into the woods, try to scare them off so she could go back and mourn over her grave.
The Bookshelf in Tullahoma is the fundraising arm of the Coffee County Literacy Council. Since 1988, the Literacy Council's goal and purpose has been to support and promote adult basic education in Coffee County. We enable individuals to complete their high school equivalency exam, which helps them get better jobs or continue into higher education. The Bookshelf at 114 Southwest Atlantic Street in Tullahoma is where we sell used books which are donated to us by the community. Come see us, bring your books to donate, and join us as you find every genre of books that you can imagine.
Macarthur Manor Assisted Living is passionate about creating better experiences for our Manchester seniors. Our residents describe us in a few words.
Welcoming.
When you walk through the doors at Macarthur Manor, we'll treat you like family.
Caring.
Through high standards of personalized care, we help residents live life to its fullest.
Engaging.
With a wide range of life-enriching activities, there is something for everyone at Macarthur Manor. With our residents and staff now vaccinated, call us today to schedule your safe and personalized tour.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good, nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
I'm so happy today to have with me Greg Gressel, the chairman of South Jackson Civic Association. Good morning, Greg.
Good morning, Peggy. How are you?
I know you were running this morning and you made it here.
It has been a busy morning.
And a busy week and a busy year.
Yes, very much so.
I think the fact that we've sort of recovered from the pandemic is something worth talking about.
It is. It's something worth talking about and worth celebrating. And I'm glad that it has happened the way that it did, because you know that this year, 2022, is the 100th anniversary of the auditorium at South Jackson.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
And we're still open and going. And I think we want to talk a little bit today about the big payback that's coming up.
The big payback is a 24-hour opportunity for giving to nonprofits. And it's put on by the Community Foundation of Tennessee, and they are very involved in helping nonprofits reach their goals and do the kind of things that they're trying to do.
That they need to do. And what is the match proportion? That don't we get some kind of match?
Well, there's not necessarily matches. Sometimes you have a matching gift, but then you also have the opportunity to win cash prizes. And that's been something that we've worked real hard at, and we kind of have a plan put together at South Jackson to help us utilize the gifts that our givers and our donors give to enter them in certain times that help us to receive cash prizes.
So a lot is dependent on time.
A lot is dependent on time, and there's only a 24-hour period to do it.
And when does that start?
It starts tomorrow, Wednesday, the 4th, at 6 p.m. and goes till Thursday the 5th at 6 p.m. It used to run 24 hours, like midnight to midnight, and I think that was hard for some people.
So now it's running.
So now it's scans 2 days, starting at 6 p.m., ending at 6 p.m.
So when you want to get the most value for your money, let's say I wanted to give $200. If I turn it in, do I have to turn it in a certain time to get it the most value?
Well, there are, and on the website it has all kinds of prizes and it tells that, but then we also...
Like the website?
The
southjackson.org, no?
Is thebigpayback.org. And then
thebigpayback.org.
And then you look for Tullahoma South Jackson Civic Center when you get there. Very easy to navigate, very easy to find. But yeah, you go to that website and it has the list of times of prizes and that kind of thing. But we also do that at South Jackson at any time during this 24-hour period, except for maybe about 4 hours during the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And we've had them there before, but we will kind of be around the clock collecting checks, cash donations, and credit card donations so that we can enter them for you.
At the right time.
At the right time
that was
to win prizes.
What I wanted to make sure everybody knew that, and any amount.
Any amount.
Any amount, because having a performing arts center and a museum and all that we have at South Jackson Civic Center, I think it really validates this place as being a great place to live.
It does. It adds tremendously to the quality of life, and and we see and understand that, and really want to make sure that we're doing the best we can to be.
Aren't we doing a little party there at the Civic Center?
We are. We're doing a kickoff. We're calling it our Happy Hour Birthday Bash, and it will start tomorrow, Wednesday the 4th, at 4 p.m. and go to 6 p.m. It's just a time. Come by, have a piece of cake. We'll have some salty items there too to go with the sweets. We've got punch and we'll have wine. All of it's free for you to come and just partake. Come celebrate with us.
And you
have
can
a piece of cake.
Donate at that time.
You can donate at that time. We'll have 2 tables set up. One table will be collecting donations that we can enter at a certain time, and they'll collect donations, and they can do that via credit card, via cash or check. Checks are awesome in this kind of thing because it just goes right into the system when we need it to.
When you need it to.
But all forms are welcome. And then there'll be another table set up. It's called peer-to-peer. So if you are a patron of South Jackson or a lover of the arts and you want to set up a peer-to-peer campaign, you can do that on the Big Payback site. It is super, super easy, and we'll have people there to help do it with some computers, and you set it up and say you want to raise $250 for South Jackson, and then you hit it, and you hit the send, it will launch your campaign, and all the email addresses that you want to send something to somebody to say, hey, consider giving through me for the Big Payback for South Jackson. So it's just a great opportunity to maybe get the word out to people that wouldn't normally just see it on social media or email.
And if you're out there in another city than Tullahoma, this goes to several places.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about Tullahoma's South Jackson Civic Association in Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Right.
And we hope that we're getting a lot of patrons that have come from all over the mid-state, and we appreciate your money too.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're definitely a regional arts center. I mean, we just this past weekend we had a Friday night concert series on the outdoor stage, which was just an incredible asset that we've added. It was kind of a blues, country, classic rock theme, and then Saturday night was Jazz on Jackson. It was International Jazz Day. We had a nice crowd for that and a great time with those on and off the stage. And then we had a dance recital on Sunday. So through the weekend,
basically almost 24 hours a day, there's something going on.
We had about 1,400 to 1,500 people at South Jackson.
Isn't that wonderful?
This past weekend.
That is fabulous.
So just an incredible opportunity to really put the arts out there.
And it sort of looks like the next weekend is coming up with a lot of people.
It is.
We've
got another dance recitals Friday and Saturday night that's open to the public, and tickets are on sale at southjackson.org. And so, just a lot of great opportunities. But we are a regional arts center, and so we do attract from multi areas, and we also get people that give to the Big Payback that live in North Carolina and California,
which is wonderful.
Texas and
Virginia, you name it. They come from all over,
So,
and I hope that everybody will understand how important this is. Of course, we have other nonprofit organizations.
Right.
Whatever you donate, remember it's tax free, right?
It is.
And
That
that's
you can take it off your income
It's always
tax.
good to know. Now's a good time to do that.
And all of our stuff is going for the next 100 years. So everything that comes in is about the auditorium. We are restoring the floors. We're doing new seats in the auditorium.
That's what I can't wait for.
New stage flooring, and we're putting in an orchestra pit.
I can't wait.
So
I hope I can live
there's
that
all
long.
kinds of opportunities to give through the Big Pay Pack. So if you go to that page, you'll see you can give $19.22 to put a candle on our birthday cake. That is that amount of money will just kind of celebrate the fact that 1922
is when it was built, and to think that it's been sustained for 100 years is pretty
100
miraculous.
years.
I know you've got some great things coming up this summer. We've got a few seconds. Do you want to talk about any of that?
Ooh, we've got a lot of stuff happening this summer. In June 3rd, 4th, and 5th is Broadway Review. If you love the music of Broadway, come see our locals performing that. It's always a great time and a great event. And then we also have Cinderella coming up. It is the 8th, 9th, 10th, and then the next weekend as well. I cannot think of those dates right off the top of my head, but it's those 2 weekends of July, and we are super excited about it. Great cast, great crew. You find more information at southjackson.org on all of these.
And there's a theater workshop coming up, I believe.
We have multiple theater workshops coming up through May, June, and July.
So go to the website to
Nutcracker
check all
Auditions
that out.
are this coming Saturday.
Right, I had Beverly on today, and we talked about that already, which was great. And we have the outdoor show with the South Jackson Street Band, which you can come and dance, and they're fixing to turn us off because it's time for us to go. Thanks, Greg, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Don't forget the Big Payback tomorrow night, 6 o'clock at South Jackson, if you can make it. We'll be back.
I got a tour and I saw all the things and I was so excited about them. And she took me to the movie theater and it had red chairs. This is a done deal and I like it.
We have so many activities here that you just can't keep up with them all. We have exercise, we have coloring, we have crafts.
It's charming, it's attractive, it's very comfortable. It was one of the best decisions of my life.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man that gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. We have so many good things going on in Tullahoma, and I'm so proud of our school system. We have a video of the choir program last week.
Auditions has been Tullahoma's shoe store for over 120 years, and Florence Hall continues that tradition today. We're the only shoe store in town that starts with measuring your foot to make sure you get the perfect fit in a quality shoe. That includes narrow through wide widths for men, women, and children. Clayton Shoes, the family shoe store you'll love.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we have about a minute to tell them goodbye, and we just want to, again, say Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers out there, because if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I miss my mother.
I miss my mother, too. I loved my mother.
My mother was a brilliant lady, and she died of Alzheimer's, which is very sad. And but I never forgot who she was. She taught me a lot of good stuff.
Oh, my mama taught me. I had a piece I was going to read if we had time.
My mother
mama
loved
taught me how to cook.
Well, my mother didn't teach me how to cook. She taught me how to wash dishes. But no, she taught me a lot of literature, and knowing that she didn't have even a high school education, she quit at grade 10 because they didn't have the facility to get to a higher, another college or another whatever. But anyway, she was a brilliant lady, and I miss her.
And Mama Dot, I love you. You're the mama I've got left on this earth. So you have a great Mother's Day, and we'll see you there. And all of you other mothers, we love you. Thank you for all you do for us. And with that said, we'll see you next time.